Hello and welcome to another interview today where I'm delighted to be joined by Peter Neal, who's the director of the Experience Bank Group. Hi Peter, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it, Paul.
Oh, you're welcome. I was just working out, actually, you spoke on stage at the very first Newcastle Scale Up Summit event that we did way back in 2017.
I did.
Yeah, and you were part of a panel discussion, and it was all about growing your business through hiring better staff or finding the right team to grow your business. And back then, so you were working for UNW at the time, but then you had also set up the Experience Bank Group as well. But now doing the Experience Bank Group full time. So do you want to go back to the beginning and talk about why you thought it was important to set this thing up and what it actually does?
Yeah, of course. I'll paint a bit of a picture. So, for more than 20 years now, I suppose I've been involved in SMEs across the region, SMEs and charities across the region, helping them find new leadership talent. Originally, I spent 17 years working for an entrepreneur in the region, Nigel Wright. And my task there was to build relationships with Northeast-based SMEs and find ways of being useful, particularly when they were looking for senior hires. So that was really interesting, built a big network of businesses and charities throughout that time. When Nigel sold to private equity, I moved across to UNW and we set up a new strategic line there, which complemented what UNW does for the Northeast-based SME businesses. That service line was called Strategic Talent. The clue's in the name. We helped UNW clients and also clients that didn't use UNW for any of their other services yet, to help them find execs and non-execs. And I think it was the realization over many years that non-executive directors were underutilized by the SME community. Mm-hmm. Some businesses, of course, did have non-exec directors, but many didn't. Many have yet to realize the value that the right non-exec director could bring at the right time. And when we thought about it, it must be nearly 7 or 8 years ago now, we realized that one of the reasons was because it's quite hard for the entrepreneur or the chair or the chief exec to identify the right non-exec director. I think for many years, the non-exec director marketplace in the Northeast anyway was characterized by the usual suspects doing the rounds, and it didn't feel very progressive. Doing what I had done for many years, I realized that there was a lot more talent out there that could add value as a non-exec director, but were invisible for whatever reason. So that was when we decided to set up an initiative which was later called the Experience Bank when we acquired the trademark. But that initiative was designed to build a carefully curated network of these people and make them accessible to early stage entrepreneurs in a sort of safe, insightful way. And that's what we've been doing ever since. So the Experience Bank itself contains about 100, 110 individuals, real eclectic bunch. Some are experienced non-exec directors, some are more mentor, more coach, some are angel investors, or a combination of those. But what links them all is that they're all motivated to help early stage founding entrepreneurs on their journey, navigate their journey to commercialization, if you like. That's their primary motivation. It's not so much what's in it for them, it's about giving something back and helping the next generation of businesses come through.
Yeah, brilliant. So for anyone that doesn't know, what is a non-executive director?
Well, in its simplest terms, it is if a non-exec director is formally appointed as a director of the business, then they have the same level of legal responsibility as any of the exec directors. But as the name suggests, they are not part of the executive team. So their role is to provide accountability to the exec team or for the exec team. They have their role is of oversight and governance. I suppose they are primarily involved in making sure that the strategic plan that the exec team are pursuing is stuck to, and they don't go off on tangents, all the way through to, you know, ensuring that the business is a going concern, its compliance with whatever regulatory environment it's in.
I don't know if that's my fault or yours. We'll just keep talking. So
yeah, so it's I've lost my train of thought now.
Sorry about that. It froze a little bit. I don't know if it was at my end or your end, but
yeah.
Okay.
But equally, particularly in SMEs, boards can contain people who are more board advisory, so they might not necessarily be legally appointed as directors, but their purpose is still the same: to provide non-executive guidance and support to the chief exec and the rest of the leadership team based on their experience. You know, they've been there and done it. They know what the potholes look like and where they are, and can help you avoid them.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you've already sort of mentioned that some of the people, the types of people that are in the experience bank at the minute, but is there a typical type of person that would become a non-executive director, or is it a certain stage in their career, would you say, or a certain age? I know you shouldn't necessarily be ageist or...
No, but that's a valid point. I mean, I think, again, traditionally, non-executive directorships are the kind of roles that people towards the end of their career tend to look for. I think that's changing. I think I know a lot of executives that are continuing to run businesses whilst at the same time are contributing to other smaller businesses, perhaps in a non-executive capacity. And I think that's a really healthy thing to do. It certainly enriches the knowledge and expertise that smaller businesses can tap into. Typically, however, a non-exec director will have quite a depth of experience in building and running businesses. And they may well have decided to stop doing full-time executive and build a portfolio career of non-executive roles. And often these people have a combination of paid non-exec roles and voluntary roles, supporting social enterprises and charities, which again is invaluable.
Yeah. So I guess, well, the clue's in the name, isn't it? Obviously, it's experience, and generally speaking, you're more likely to have more experience if you're a little bit older. But like you say,
yeah,
people who might have had some big success or early success at a younger age, and also the role that you're playing is trying to find those people who could be great non-executive directors, but they've maybe not been invited to become one before. They've just been too busy, or felt they've been too busy to become one. But actually, if they knew what it entailed.
It is, and the non-exec director marketplace in SME world is a bit invisible. Mm-hmm. You know, unlike in listed companies where, you know, the websites always list the non-exec directors, executive search consultants are engaged to find non-exec directors. It's not the same in SME world. And I think the other point I wanted to make was the fundamental difference between an exec and a non-exec is a non-exec will not tell or do anything within the business. They are there as oversight, guidance and support and challenge and accountability. Yeah. And it's a different skill set. So it isn't as straightforward as stopping being an executive one day and becoming a very capable non-exec the next. Mm-hmm. These skills need to be developed and learnt, and often people learn those by moving through into voluntary trustee roles in charities, where they can contribute straight away and often are asked to do perhaps more direct operational interventions within the organisation through necessity. But the true sense of non-exec director is very much more oversight and governance and support.
Yeah, I think on that you mentioned there about paid and unpaid roles. So I didn't actually realise that there was paid roles that you could do as a non-executive until we first started talking a few years ago.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it can be a very lucrative career move for executives, especially in the world of listed companies. You know, they are highly valued and are paid substantial fees. SME world, it's different, of course. Very often you'll find a non-exec director helping a privately owned SME business. Maybe the objective is to build enterprise value to allow the owner to exit or to bring in further investment, do a fundraise. And in which case the non-exec director may well be rewarded on either an equity basis or a combination of fee and equity.
Yeah, great. And then so we talked about the non-executive side of things. So from the SME point of view, or the entrepreneur or the founder, when and why would at what stage would they need a non-executive director, or like, is it usually once they're up and running, they've been going a little while and the business is a bit more established rather than or is that not
okay? So so the Experience Bank Group is called a group because there are two separate businesses, and I didn't want to call it the Experience Bank pair because that sounds a bit odd. The Experience Bank, what we've been talking about so far, is an independent social enterprise. Essentially, it's a not-for-profit, and that exists to support the early stage founding entrepreneurs, those that are probably still bootstrapping, those that are looking to commercialize their business. They perhaps are aiming to do a fundraise in the near future. So cash is in short supply for them, but that's the point at which they benefit most from having someone alongside them who's been there and done it. As I said, they know where the potholes are and how deep they are and how to get around them. So that's the purpose of the Experience Bank, is to support those early stage businesses, because it's free to access for those entrepreneurs. And as I said before, the members of the bank are happy to give quite a lot of their time on a pro bono basis. Their relationships and engagement with someone from the bank will generally evolve to perhaps be more formal and might involve, some sweat equity. But the premise is that the founding entrepreneur can get safe and insightful access to the right sorts of people quickly and without them having to invest a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
The other side of the business, the other company within the group, is our commercial consultancy, and that is pointed at the more established SMEs and charities, those that are a going concern, generating revenue and hopefully profit. But of course, all organizations, as they grow, need to develop their leadership teams and their boards, and they need to make sure that not only do they have a leadership team and a board, but that it's adding the value it should be. And that's where the commercial side of our business comes in. So we are there about helping these companies and charities build really effective boards. That's through having the right people in the team, how the team works together, what the team dynamics are, and how they work best together. It's about the processes, the systems, the information that the board has to make decisions on. All of those things combined need to be optimized for a board to be really, really effective. And I think it would be interesting to ask all the chief execs and chairs out there how effective they feel their boards really are, if they were to take a critical look at it. Even the good ones can become great, but there are many that are perhaps just going through the motions that could be optimized. And that's what we want to work with and help these SMEs. That's what we've been set up to do.
Yeah, Okay. So, well, we mentioned before the Experience Bank's been going a little while, but actually you're a new venture yourself. So you've got into
We
this
are.
recently. So full
Yeah.
time, you've set this up, and you're a director now. And so yeah, how's that been going so far?
Oh, it's great. I probably should have done it many years ago, if I'm honest. But I needed the ducks to all line up, I suppose. There's a whole bunch of reasons why it took till now. But I think myself and my colleagues that form the Experience Bank Group, we've been doing this for a long time, just for different organizations, and we have complementary skill sets, and the time was right for us all to come together as the Experience Bank Group and offer this service. I think there is a need. I think there is a demand, not just because of the pressures of the impending Brexit and of course the pandemic situation, but I think we want to. Our whole purpose is to help SMEs and charities in our region grow sustainably, create more jobs, generate more economic value and social wealth. That's a good thing for us all. And we're really interested in that. We've been doing it a long time, as I said, independently, and now we're doing it as a collective. And I think it's a great purpose and something we're very passionate about. Much the same as you, I suspect.
Yeah, well, that's why when we first started talking about it, that I immediately thought it was a great thing to not necessarily get behind, but like I wanted more people to know about it. That's why I asked you to speak on stage at the event, and through the website and social media, and why I wanted to do this as well, because I think there is a real need, and because even myself, I'm going through that process. Recently, I've told you where until now I've not needed non-executive directors for my business, but I'm just about to start a new business with two co-founders, and one of the co-founders has kind of been acting like a non-executive director, and I mentioned it before. He said Andrewessen. He told me it's thanks to you that he's in the region. So you brought him to the Northeast, and I've benefited from him originally coming here to head up a business, but then he's then set up his own business as a consultant and working as a scale-up partner to scale up Northeast, and now he's going to be working with me on this new business as well. So that's
great.
Yeah.
And I bet 20 years ago, because it must be 20 years ago, when I persuaded Andrew to leave Glasgow and come and join a business down in Newcastle as their managing director, I bet he would never imagined that he's doing what he's doing now, and starting that new exciting venture with you. It seems a long way from a machine shop MD, really, but he is many things, Andrew.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Well, I've definitely really value the advice he's given me, because he is like older, wiser. He's been there, done that. He's built and sold companies. He's raised investment. He's a solid character, and we just immediately got on really, really well. And he's been working with me for the past 12 months through that Scale Northeast program, and I could see he was the type of person I wanted to get involved in this new venture.
Yeah, and that's another very valid point. It's not just about what people have done; it's how they think and how they operate. So, Andrew has made a successful transition over many years from big corporate into the world of SMEs, and he's made that transition very successfully. As you said, he bought and invested in his own business, and then he's moved on to help other SMEs in that more sort of coaching, mentoring capacity. And I think that's an important point. Not everyone can make that transition from corporate to SME world. And equally, I think if you are a firm like mine that is looking to support fellow SMEs, I think you need to be able to empathize with what it's like to be running an SME, the dynamics of an SME. I think you need to be able to speak the language, be sensitive to the dynamics. I've worked for and with SMEs for 25 years, as have my colleagues. So, we are good partners. You contrast that to perhaps a grey-suited consultant popping out from a big consultancy firm with their clipboard and their kind of board optimization template, trying to impose that on stakeholders of an SME. Less likely to resonate with them, I think. Really, we're there on a journey with these companies.
No, definitely, I think that empathy and understanding is really key, because like you say, Andrew, he talks about this, how he's gone smaller. Like, he started big and then he's got smaller and smaller, down to like his own business now where it's just him.
And having a lot more fun in doing so.
And then through the experience that he's been doing with the Scale Up North, he's been exposed to more kind of digital and tech and creative businesses. So that's opened up his eyes to a new world that he's been quite excited by, the innovation that he's seeing in the entrepreneurship. Even though he's an engineer, he's got that kind of entrepreneurial streak.
He has. And there are quite a few people like Andrew out there in our business community. I think that's the point I was making before. There is lots of great talent that could add real value in a non-executive capacity, that aren't particularly visible. Perhaps they don't bang the drum, or they're not they're not always on social media sharing their latest new non-exec role that they've acquired. There are lots of people there who just get on and do it quietly but very effectively, and that is what the Experience Bank is populated by. Those sorts of people.
So if anyone watching this wants to benefit from the Experience Bank, so if you're a business owner and you're an SME and you want to, what do they do? The first step is to go onto the website? So Google the Experience Bank and it should come up pretty near the top. The website is theexperiencebank.co.uk, or look me up on LinkedIn. I'm very, very accessible, as you might imagine. But the first step will be to have a conversation and understand what the individual is wrestling with. Are they in the very early stage, got no cash category, in which case we'll look to help with the Experience Bank. If they are a more established business, perhaps wrestling with a skill gap in the board, or someone's leaving and they need them replacing, and perhaps they're also recognize the value of reviewing the effectiveness of their board, we can intervene very empathetically and sensitively in those situations and find the solution. But the first step is to just come and talk to us. We are here to be talked to. Brilliant. Okay. So you've already got a bank. You've already got a ready-made bank of non-executive directors or potential directors. So it's trying to get more SMEs to be aware of the service. That's the kind of phase you're at the moment.
Yeah, it is. So we're not actively looking to keep building the bank, although when people do find them, when they are introduced to me and they meet myself and my colleagues or the advisory board of the bank, then we'll if they enrich the bank further and they share our values, then they're very welcome to join. There's no sort of specific limit to the number of people in the bank. Anyone that enriches it further is welcome. But what we're after now is to, and this is why I was grateful for this opportunity, Paul, we're not as visible as we would like to be to our target audience, the founding entrepreneurs. And there are a whole bunch of reasons for that, but mainly because it is a non-trading, non-commercial, not-for-profit. So it has no money, or it hasn't had any money until now. to promote itself.
Yeah.
Now that we've brought it together in the Experience Bank group, the commercial business is committed to gifting 5% of its revenue to the social enterprise, and we will engage, armed with that pot of money, we will engage perhaps a PR agent who will get that messaging out there regularly in the right way to the right people, because there's a bank of people. The Experience Bank exists to support these entrepreneurs, and there are lots of entrepreneurs out there who perhaps don't know that we exist, or have heard perhaps people talk about us, but have not made the step to make contact with us. And I would encourage them to do so, because it's there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain, bluntly.
Yeah. No, well, when we met up recently, we were talking about this. Is like sometimes you just got to keep reminding people, just keep being visible, and so that when the time is right, you're front of mind. Because sometimes I think it's just if you're not looking, you don't see. Like it's if you're not ready for a non-executive director, you don't even know that you need one.
Well, that's an interesting observation. Non-exec directors solve the "you don't know what you don't know" conundrum, and there are lots of people running businesses who perhaps haven't got their minds around the "I don't know what I don't know" truth. Non-exec directors with a different perspective, different range of experiences, can come in and help fill that knowledge gap. That's one of the real values of bringing people in a non-executive advisory capacity into your boardroom. Yeah,
definitely. So I know your primary, the primary aim of the Experience Bank is for northeast-based SMEs. Is that right? So you're going to stick to that? I mean, that is still a big enough. That's a big area to cover anyway. So when you talk northeast, is that all of the northeast and Teesside, or is it just?
No, it's the whole traditional northeast. So I guess North Yorkshire, Stokesley up to Berwick, but everything in between. So we are here to serve northeast-based businesses. That's our passion. That's our objective. Help more of those grow sustainably and create jobs and wealth. What I would say, however, is that our pool of non-exec directors that we draw upon come from further afield. They are heavily northeast centric, but there are also quite a lot of interesting people who are connected to the northeast, but perhaps don't live here at the moment, who are really interested in supporting northeast businesses. Non-exec directors can travel and do travel. So our talent pool is enriched by really smart people with lots to offer elsewhere in the country. Yeah,
I was going to ask about that. So although the primary target audience for the SMEs is northeast, the non-executive directors could come from further afield.
Yeah, could and do. Yeah,
and that often is the right way to do it, because if you want the best talent, sometimes you have to bring it in from outside the region and then help raise the bar for everyone.
You do. And on the executive search side that I've done for many years and continue to do so, only just recently I've helped a local charity find a new chief exec. Now the beauty about that is that we found someone and persuaded them to return to the northeast. So the region lost their expertise for a few years. Now we've drawn it back in, which is that's very, very rewarding, very satisfying.
Yeah. No, you do. It is nice to see. I don't know if it's the same with every region, but it is surprising how many people keep that strong affinity with the region, even if they have gone away. And one of the things that I've been trying to do with the Startup Week and Scale Up Summit events is to help bring people back. We call them like Boomerangs. People who maybe originally from here or got strong ties here. They've moved away. They've been really successful elsewhere. And then they're at a stage in their career or in their life where they decide they want to come back or give back, or and and contribute to the region. And definitely, I've noticed there's been an increase in those types of people in the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, I think that's true. We've been involved in a bit of that, but yes, I think across the board, I think we are seeing some returning great talent.
Yeah, and it's a collective effort. It's like everybody's playing their part there, but sometimes it's reputation of the region. People are hearing good things, or they're reading about success stories from the region. So that's why it's important to keep sharing these good news stories about the region.
It is. Yeah, as you're well aware, we haven't historically been terribly good at banging our drum, but I think that has changed quite significantly now. The Experience Bank Group has just joined Dynamo, which is great. Really looking forward to contributing with that organisation. But that's another drum being banged, and I'm all for that. And if we, the Experience Bank, can help propagate the message with your initiatives, etc., then yeah, we're only delighted to do so.
Yeah, great. Do you do much, or have you thought about doing much with the university, like the alumni services? Because again, it seems to be like people, even if they're not from the area, but if they've had a great experience at university, they're interested and they want to play some part, and more than just donating some money to a alumni bursary or something like that. They actually want to. So I'm wondering if I'm just thinking out loud here, I'm wondering if there's opportunities for you to write articles or opinion pieces or something for the alumni audiences of the university.
Yeah.
That could be a good route for you.
Well, of course, I am part of Newcastle University's alumni, so I'm already in that. So that would be an easy thing for me to do. And it's a good point, actually. It's not something that we've turned any attention to at the moment, but probably ought to. Yeah. The Experience Bank itself has had a lot of dealings with the Northumbria University, the Business School of Northumbria University, but that was when we were looking to pull together a program that could help educate executives about the role of becoming a non-exec director, and that's still something that we'd like to pick up again and complete. Honestly, Paul, there's so many things you could do, isn't it? You just need to prioritize and focus on a few to start with, really. But yeah, there's lots that we can do. When you've got access to really great, capable talent that can make a difference to businesses, there's so many avenues to point that. Mm-hmm. At the moment, we're focusing very much on helping organisations have the right leadership teams and boards, and then making sure those teams or boards are operating and adding as much value as possible. Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done in that space for lots of companies, especially now and coming through COVID, I guess. And that's what we're really wanting to make a difference.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I think, like you said, I mean, there's for anyone, for me as well, there's so much you could do. It's just trying to figure out what you can do that's going to have the biggest impact for the least effort. So yeah, you could
don't mind
doing stuff all day, every day, and not having much of an impact. But hopefully, things like this, interviews like this, that'll be shared through our Startup Week community. Let's try and get more awareness for the Experience Bank.
Let's be noisier. Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, I guess the last thing I was going to ask is, we're talking about what the Experience Bank Group does. What could an SME or a founder do to make themselves better prepared for bringing a non-executive director in, or more appealing to a non-executive director? Is there any advice you can give to that?
The thing that comes to mind immediately is make the mindset shift to recognizing the value that a non-exec director could bring. That's the fundamental first step that needs to happen. Other than that, provided they recognise the value and are open-minded to it, and they kind of realise they don't know what they don't know. After that, it becomes more of a process. Various steps. You know, for what purpose? What's their objective? What's the business objective? What skills do they need that they haven't got internally? And you know, working all that through with people like us, which helps you then define the right sort of non-exec director, and then we can set about finding the right fit. Because it's not just about, obviously, you know, what the CV looks like, what the experience has been. The really big piece is, will that person fit culturally and personality-wise with the chief exec or the investor, or both?
Yeah, and that's where your expertise and experience comes into.
Well, I think so. I think it's very, very helpful, if not essential, to have someone helping you coming from an objective perspective.
Yeah.
And if someone like me is helping you work through that objectively, and then also has access to the right sorts of people, then there's value to be had, I think, in that.
Definitely. No, well, I think it is a great service that you're providing, and it's needed. So I think it's excellent that you're doing it here in the Northeast, and I hope lots of people take you up on the offer of working with you. So we'll just say again, so your website's theexperiencebank.co.uk.
Yeah, theexperiencebank.co.uk. Just make sure you type in enough E's. And it's there, it's straightforward, it's simple, it tells people what we do and why and how to contact us.
Yeah, and I was just looking there as well, you've got some really good case studies and resources on there as well, so just
yeah,
not ready for it yet, they can still read up on it and get a better understanding of what value a non-executive director can bring to the company.
Yeah, there are some case studies. There's more to go on. We're just working them through now. Again, it's, you know, prioritizing stuff really. We've been busy delivering and spreading the message. Now I am ready to get some more case studies pulled together. Perhaps we'll adopt the video interview technique to get case studies from clients. That would be good. So there'll be more going on there. But, you know, if people want to come and contact us, then we can easily introduce them to their peers who have used non-exec directors and seen the benefit of it. You know, we have a big education piece to do, as well as delivering solutions. Yeah,
love it. Okay, great. Well, I think we'll leave it there for now. But really enjoyed talking to you. Always enjoy talking to you. And
thanks, Paul.
I'm glad that you're doing it, and it's exciting for you as well that you're doing this full time now. So
thank you, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to collaborating with you with your venture as well. Definitely. Good luck with that.
Right. Okay, I'll end the interview now. All right, cheers.
Great. Thanks. Bye.